So a lot of the success stories have been with respect to upskilling and with respect to coursework, but we also wanted to start taking small but sure steps towards research. And that's what this entire program is about. Okay, so what was the motivation for this fellowship is really this internships for NPTEL learners that we introduced in 2018, starting with 13 students who did 4 to 8 weeks of summer internship of various kinds in 2018. We now, in the previous summer, that is 2023 summer, we had 139 students who completed their internships at various IITs. Okay. A couple of these students have joined the same research group for their MS PhD, and the example that you just now saw was the example of a student who's completed his PhD last year. Now the question is, how can we facilitate research exposure to our learners? What do our learners get from it? What do IITs get from it? And that's what I'm going to quickly talk about. Okay, so the details of this post baccalaureate fellowship, we can also call it pre-doctoral fellowship if you like that word instead. It's up to 1 year. It's going to be funded by NPTEL, and it will be open for all NPTEL stars with a graduate degree. That could be a BS degree, BSc degree, BTech degree, MS degree, MSc degree. Any of these degrees the student needs to have. They need to be an NPTEL star, and if you are an NPTEL star with a graduate degree, you can apply for various projects that have been floated. If you get selected for the project, you'll be paid a monthly stipend of 25,000 rupees, and you get an opportunity to work in the lab of one of the NPTEL faculty at any of these 8 institutes from where you get chosen. Okay, these are going to be necessarily in-person internships. There could possibly be exceptions on case-to-case basis, but as of now, these are planned to be in-person internships. And the student selection and the overall fellowship will be governed based on the rules of the parent institute. So all the student selection rules and the fellowship rules will be governed by those norms at the parent institute. The idea behind this overall is that, one, to get our learners, our stars, get exposed to this idea of doing research in a research lab. The second is, hopefully, at least some of them will mutually in discussion with their guides decide to continue their work for a higher education degree, maybe an MS degree or a PhD degree at that lab. Okay. So what we really intend to do is to start or to initiate these small steps into exposing our students to research culture at various IITs. Okay, quickly about the timelines. So we are already past the time where the NPTEL students have given their project choice. If we go back a couple of weeks before that, we asked NPTEL faculty to provide a list of projects. So each faculty could provide at most one project. We collated all of those lists, and those lists were shared with NPTEL stars, and the NPTEL stars were then asked to give a project choice. Thereafter, now we, over the next three and a half weeks, the various faculty, in coordination with the NPTEL offices, will undertake this process of student selection on the project. If the student is selected on this project, they will get an opportunity to work on this project up to a duration of 1 year, starting sometime in August. As I mentioned earlier, the student selection will be based on the parent institute norms and based on the norms in the lab that the student would be working on. Next. And the project start date will be anywhere between 1st of August to 31st August, and that the actual date will be based on the institute calendar, institute requirements, and the faculty availability. Okay. So I think that's all I had as a formal presentation. I wanted to keep this presentation fairly short, and we'll open the forum for any questions. So this will be there will not be a CGPA associated with this. So if you have a bachelor's degree, that would be fine. Oh, I think top is the first question. Sorry. Third year BA. Again, that would depend on the project. As of now, I'm inclined to say no, but there might be certain projects that might be open to BA students as well. But as of now, I'm inclined to say. Yeah, I think we just informed you that the results of the selection process would be announced by around 10th of June. BA is unlikely to be an eligible degree unless there is a particular project that accepts BA and it fits in with the institute norm. Will this help in doing MTech from an IIT? Yes, it would help in doing MTech from an IIT. They can hear us, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Graduate degree from, again, with law background, unlikely. There are a couple of faculty, a few faculty who straddle between law and technology. So, and if they have given offered a project, then perhaps, but otherwise, probably not. Yes, people who are going to complete their undergraduate course in and receive a degree in July. So as long as you have an undergraduate degree in July, you will be eligible. Which basically means from NPTEL perspective, law degree, BA degree are eligible. From institute perspective, they may or may not be eligible. So it really depends on the individual institute and the particular project. There will be no degree at the end of the end of this fellowship. This is just to encourage this fellowship. So in various universities and institute, including IIT, we run projects with project staff. This fellowship would be considered as equivalent to a project staff. So you would not actually be a student in the particular IIT, but you would be equivalent to a project staff or a project associate at an IIT. So can you do an MTech? No, you do not get to do an MTech through this program. But the previous question was, will it help you if you are planning to do an MTech and later on independently? So MTech admissions in IITs are based on GATE. So that is not something that that NPTEL or anybody else can change. So the MTech admissions will be based on this. But how this particular project can help, for example, in an MTech program, is MTech program has one or typically 2 semesters in which students do an MTech project. And if you happen to do an MTech project in the same lab, of course, you are at a significant advantage. But even if you end up doing an MTech project in a different institute and in a completely different field, even then you have a leg up compared to other students because you have a little bit of research experience because of this fellowship, which will significantly help you in your MTech project. How this will help to get into MTech? No, this will not help you to get into MTech because MTech admissions are based on GATE, and it's the GATE office that determines MTech admissions. Eligibility, anyone with a bachelor or a higher degree is eligible. Do we need to pay any money? No, you do not need to pay any money. As a matter of fact, if you get selected, there is a stipend of 25,000 rupees provided you do the work at a regular basis. The process for applying, the application is now closed? It's still open? The application is still open, so until when? Probably another week. So the application deadline was 19th, that is yesterday, but we will extend it by a week or so. So yes, so what you can do is we had sent you an email. Can we send an email again to all the stars? What we will do is we'll send an email once again today, by the end of the day today or early tomorrow, to all the NPTEL stars, and that email will have information of how can you apply for it. So there would be a link to a form and the list of projects, and you can apply against a project.
So the details are in the same email from which you have joined this meeting. There is a link and also a content and steps where you can apply. There is a project list from the faculty which you can choose from the list.
But will the college give you permission? That is, I mean, you will need permission from the college, and the likelihood of you getting permission from the college is not very high, I would say, unless you decide to take a break semester or a break year. Is it only for students? No, it's for anyone with a bachelor's. Yeah. Is there any age limit? No, there's no age limit. Will we get this opportunity next year? So there was one direct message where someone asked, will this opportunity be available next year also? We hope so. We definitely want to make this as an annual activity. So yes, we hope so. Will the interview process be online or offline? Most likely it will be via Google Meet or Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So most likely it will be on an online process. Should we be enrolled in an MTech program of that institute? No, of course not. If you are already enrolled in an MTech program, again, my personal recommendation is to focus on the MTech program, unless you want to do this as a research fellowship because you want to join a PhD program at that institute in that lab. So, for example, you are very keen on doing PhD with a particular faculty member in IIT Madras, and you did not get an MTech opportunity in IIT Madras, but you got an MTech opportunity somewhere else. You could then take a decision whether to say no to that MTech program and do the fellowship over here. But that really is your individual decision. But you cannot do an MTech program in parallel with this fellowship. Commerce students can join, perhaps not, unless there is a project that explicitly utilizes commerce experience. Again, from NPTEL, there is no restriction because there could be projects where those kinds of skills might be required, but the restrictions can be from an individual IIT where the project is about. There will be no degree that will be given after this. As I said, it will be like a project start. Will there be a written test? That depends on the norms that is followed for that particular project. Will this opportunity remain open in the future? Yes, that's what we hope. How does this fellowship help to get into higher studies? Yeah, thank you very much for this question, and hopefully you saw the video that we broadcast earlier before the start of the session. There's already one example of a student who did internship. Thereafter, after the internship, he got a project associate or a project assistant position in that lab. He then applied for a PhD program, and thankfully he was able to qualify for the PhD program and could join the same lab. And he already received a PhD earlier this year. So that's a very live example in front of your testimonial, in front of you, how this fellowship would work. As of now, it is only for NPTEL stars. Later on, depending on the success of this program, we might be able to expand it further, but yeah, it is for NPTEL stars. Working professionals can also apply, provided you get a leave of absence from your work, or you need to quit your work, I guess. BTech CSE fourth year student, I'm not sure what BTech CSE fourth year would mean. If you are currently in the fourth year and you're going to get your BTech degree by say July or so, yes, you can apply and you would be eligible. If you are currently in the third year and going to the fourth year in June, July, then you would not be eligible. You will become eligible next year. Will we get a job offer of our campus placements after this fellowship? Well, it depends. So you will not be eligible for campus placements. So this is not an official degree program of any IIT. So this is like a project associate position. So there is no campus placements. As far as I know, none of the IITs have campus placement opportunities open for project staff. Well, so the process, the way it works, so the question is, project selection can be different from the courses we have taken from NPTEL. I've taken computer science courses, be in information science. Can I join a project in astrophysics? Yes, absolutely. When you do your project choices, you do them based on your interest and your expertise. Okay, so there will be some sort of an interview, perhaps based on project to project and institute to institute, and the selection would perhaps be based on your performance in that particular interview. So if you're applying for astrophysics, if you brush up on some of the fundamentals, especially that are relevant to that particular project, you might stand a chance. So you can very well apply to different projects. And in IITs, we do encourage interdisciplinary approaches. Whether or not you have the adequate background so that you can succeed in the project will depend on how reasonably prepared you are for the fellowship and for this particular project. Currently, I'm in my 5th semester. I guess if you're going into your 5th semester, you have to wait until you complete your 8th semester to apply. So at this moment, you are not eligible. A student in the 5th semester, not eligible. Do you apply to every institute individually? Multiple projects. You can apply to multiple projects, and the selection will be based on an individual project, not on an individual institute. The norms will be the institute norms. So 2 projects from the same institute will follow similar norms, but you get selected on a project just like a project assistant or project associate. Can I do ME and this fellowship at the same time? Unlikely. What degree do we get after this? There's no degree after this. NPTEL stars, it's open only to NPTEL stars. I've completed my first year MTech in NIT. Can I apply for this fellowship? I personally would recommend you to apply for this fellowship next year so that you complete your MTech and then do the fellowship. I'm in my 7th semester of BE. So you're going into your 7th semester, so you'll be eligible next year. How the transition from a fellowship to this degree work? The way this works is if you do well in this particular fellowship, you will get all the privileges that a project associate gets towards application for the PhD program or a master's program. So there are certain project-based master's degrees as well. There are certain project-based PhD degrees as well. But what you probably want to do is to apply towards the end of your fellowship, apply for formally to a master's or a PhD program in that institute. Thereafter, it will be the PhD admission norms at that institute that will work. Now, you don't necessarily have to apply only to that institute. So, for example, there are certain students who apply for and get selected for a project associateship position in our labs. For example, there was a student 6 years back, who joined my lab, who got selected. There was a selection process. I think there were some 40 students applied. 6 got shortlisted based on their background. We interviewed. We called 6 of them for interviews. 5 of them showed up. 1 of them was given a project position. This was a 6-month project. After the completion of 6-month project, she applied for a PhD position at various universities. She got a PhD position abroad, and she went there and completed a higher education degree. You could follow the same route. We would encourage you to do this research and then apply for a PhD so that you can do the PhD in the same lab. That would be a super success story for win-win for everyone involved. But as far as we are concerned, we want to facilitate students, the NPTEL learners, through this opportunity. So how do you take this opportunity and where you go with it really depends on you and the faculty running the project. PG CGPA required is compulsory. We will check on this. So there is a question that says that someone has done a BTech but not a postgraduate degree. If a UG CGPA is compulsory, a PG CGPA should be optional. If there is an error in the form, we will rectify it by tomorrow. I've already answered how it will help doing MTech. You cannot do an MTech without giving GATE exam, as far as I know. Again, I'm not fully aware of the MTech norms, but as far as I know, MTech, you cannot do it without a GATE. Project is from, okay, so you can apply against a project. So is this opportunity available in January month or only from July semester? Actually, we'll take this as a feedback. As of now, it is only for July semester, but I will take this question from Naseem as a feedback, and we will work on this, and we'll see if we can extend it to Jan semester also. Yeah, can you note that down? I've completed my first year in PG. If you have completed your first year in PG, my personal suggestion, and this is not as an NPTEL coordinator or a faculty in IIT Madras, but just as an individual who have interacted with a lot of students, just my personal opinion is that you'd probably want to complete your PG degree and then apply for this project. If your institute allows an entire year of project in an IIT, perhaps you might be able to apply. This is again from me as an individual. This is not necessarily an official policy from IIT or NPTEL, but we have had. I have not personally had, but some of my colleagues have had final year BTech students who have done their BTech project in their labs. Several NITs facilitate that. So I'm sure that possibility might be there for your institute to facilitate 1 year of project at an IIT. If your institute facilitates that, then you could do your second year of project in an IIT. But again, I don't know of too many students or too many institutes that allow that. So I am not exactly in a position to answer the question. If you are in your first year of PG, can you do second year in IIT on this fellowship? If you are receiving UG degree in July, you are eligible for applying this year itself. 2019 PE MTech pass out and those who have left your job, absolutely. The only requirement is you need to have an undergraduate degree of any sort, so you are eligible to apply. More courses accessible during fellowship. Courses and the fellowship are completely independent. Whether you get the fellowship or not, you can do NPTEL courses. If you're physically present in an IIT as a project staff, there are certain courses that you can enroll in person as well. If the IIT allows, as long as you satisfy that particular IIT's norms, you should be able to do the courses, provided those courses you can apply satisfying that institute. The project and MTech is completely independent. Whether you can get into a degree program or not will depend on the requirements of admission requirements for that degree program. You do get a leg up because you have a research experience. So you do get a leg up for a PhD program. For MTech, I don't think so, because as far as I know, MTech program is based on GATE. Third year BE, next year, yes, you're eligible. NPTEL stars, yes, it is open only to NPTEL stars. If you want to know about NPTEL star, please go to nptel.ac.in and find out. There's a link at the top which will explain you about NPTEL stars. You cannot acquire credits based on this fellowship. Affiliated college students can select for this program. I do not know this.
They are in the list of NPTEL star, they can.
If you are an NPTEL star, you can apply. Again, that information to get the project list is there on the email that was sent to you, the same email from which you got this information, and we'll send this information again. I think I have answered the question of how much edge you will have. I cannot quantify the edge, but I can definitely tell you that if you are selected for this program and you do this program, you do your research sincerely, that particular research experience is going to be very, very valuable for your future career. Again, research is not set in the same mold as a course is. Coursework, you are basically just solving a problem or a set of problems or assignments and exams that are given to you. In research, more often than not, we do not know the answer to the questions. Research is often about posing an appropriate question, figuring out an appropriate approach to demonstrate or falsify that question, and thereafter, based on your result, you go and decide the next step. So if I compare to driving, basically coursework is basically driving on a road, and you can see the full road, and you're driving, and we are kind of training you how to drive. Research is more like if you are in a ghat, if you are in a mountainous region, and you're driving on a very foggy day, you can probably see 2-3 meters ahead. So you will have to drive carefully. You can't see the entire road ahead of you. But even on a very foggy day, let's say you're going to Kodaikanal or somewhere, even on a foggy day, you can reach your destination, even though on a foggy day you can only see so much in front of your car. Research is very much like that. So it's about driving in an unknown, or charting the unknown territory. So it gives you a very different set of skills than what a course gives you, and this particular program tries to facilitate that. Only IIT faculty can give project titles. That has already been completed, and the project titles have been decided, and that's the list that has been shared with you. People who will graduate in 2015, please apply next year. If you got an MTech program in IISc, my personal opinion is please go and do your MTech at IISc. Should we enroll in MTech? No, this fellowship does not make you eligible to enroll in MTech at that institute. If you already have if you're already enrolled in an MTech program at an IIT, for example, I would recommend you complete that MTech program instead of looking for this fellowship. That's my personal thought. It was mentioned that fellows will be able to attend courses. Yes, fellows will be able to attend. Who will decide the courses? Again, whether you're not eligible or not will be decided by the norms of the institute. If you satisfy the norms of this institute, it's between you and your faculty guide to decide whether you can do these courses. lot of faculty are fairly flexible about which courses you can take. But if you come to, for example, my lab where we do experiments in CO2 capture, and you want to do a course in, let's say, machine learning, I would dissuade you against that, saying that, because that's not very aligned with that particular project. So yeah, I mean, but yes, but within the parameters that you and your faculty guide will work on, yes, it should be possible to do any of the eligible courses. Accommodation hostels? No, there's project staff are not given accommodation on campus. At the same rules would apply to NPTEL fellowships. Project is from, so I guess the question was, there was someone who asked a question that he or she has a law degree. Would you be eligible to apply for a project from IIT Kharagpur Law School? Yes, I think so. We have been given a section saying rank order list of project 1 in the form. Will it be priority list? So for example, if you are selected in 3 projects, it will be based on your priority. So for example, you have chosen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do not get 1. You got selected for project number 2. You will get project number 2. Okay. So how we do this is we prioritize student choices over faculty choices. Where the faculty choices get prioritized is, let's say there are 3 students who have opted for a project, then the faculty will also need to rank order those, and that's where the faculty choices will come into picture. MTech program in you have completed your first year MTech in NIT. I do not think NIT allow you 1 full year of project at IIT. So I would think that more appropriate would be to wait for another year so that you can get an MTech degree at the NIT and apply for this next year. Are you eligible? Yes, you are eligible. Would I recommend applying for this fellowship? That's a different question. Is the program terminatable? Yes. So you or the faculty could potentially terminate this program if the program is not working. GATE is required for MTech, as far as I know. Students graduating, name of the highest degree earned will be, yes, it will be the name of the degree as of August of this year, the highest degree that you have. So if you are graduating in July 2024, that's the current degree would be what you will put as the highest. So if you are planning to join MTech degree from August of this year, and this specific question, I've got an MTech offer from IIT Kanpur. Unless you have a fellowship that you really want, my personal suggestion would be to go for MTech from IIT Kanpur. If I was in your place, I'll be going for MTech from IIT Kanpur instead of this particular fellowship. That would be my opinion. NPTEL Star is mandatory. Any semester NPTEL Star. Can we proceed for PhD later, provided you get selected for a PhD program? Yes. No, there's no specific selection criteria. You will be contacted based on the eligibility for the individual project. So yeah. How will I be eligible? BTech 4th year student. So I guess if you have finishing your 4th year, you will be eligible. You apply for the projects, and based on your application, there will be a screening process, and there might be a selection process thereafter. There's no accommodation in IIT. There are PGs that are available close to IITs. You will have to pay for the PG accommodation. Is there a provision for an online project for people residing outside India? No, as of now, it's not doing the project online is not open. PG CGPA. If you don't have a PG CGPA, you do not have to fill this field. We will change the form so that the PG CGPA becomes an optional field. If there is any project that is relevant for your MSc specialization, for example, in textile science or anything else, you can opt for that project. That is not something that I, as an NPTEL coordinator, can say. At the same time, you don't necessarily have to restrict yourself to apparel and textile science. You can think of any project where your past expertise you could use, you could apply for it. Any undergraduate degree will make you qualified to apply for this. Is it different from the course? No, it's 1 year, but yeah, with your potential guide, you can decide it to be less than a year. It cannot be greater than a year. As far as NPTEL is concerned, we recommend 1 year. Case for working people. It's a difficult question to answer. So if you're not, so if you're working and you are choosing to continue to work, I don't think you can avail of this fellowship. So if you're looking at a career transition and you want to look at this opportunity to help you with that career transition for a career in research, then you may want to quit your job and take this fellowship. We will change the form so that the PhD degree CGPA is optional. Yeah, and some of these questions I think are repeating. I think the question is what opportunities you saw an example of what opportunities you get, but please note that this fellowship increases your chances for opening that door of opportunity. It does not guarantee you anything. So what I mean by that is if you do this project very well, there's a likelihood that you'll get a recommendation from your professor. There's a likelihood that the skills that you have learned in this project will help you through your interview or selection process for your PhD application in an IIT. If you've done well in your research, you get a big confidence boost because you're working closely with other PG students in IIT. So those are all intangible benefits that I cannot guarantee you anything at this stage. Statistically speaking, it just improves your confidence and your chances if you do well. Working professional, if you are willing to quit your job to work full-time on this project, yes, you could. Project list will be sent. Project list is not sent in the email. The email has a link where you will get the project.
You can apply. Click on apply button and go to the form where the project list will be available.
If you completed your BTech in 2024, yes, you are eligible. Accommodation is off campus and it depends on PG to PG. So what are the picking in Chennai? 5 to 10,000. So PG in Chennai, you could get anywhere from 5 to 10,000 rupees, which is close to IIT Madras campus. Again, so yeah, you will have to pay for all of this through the stipend that you get. Stipend is 25,000. If you are working already towards an MS degree, I would suggest you complete your MS degree. Project list is how many other?
100.
There are 102 projects. The number of relevant projects may not be that high. I admit that this is the first time we are trying this out, and the number of fellowships available is also quite limited. So yeah, but there are 102 projects. Currently the job. How can this help me? Do I have to leave my current job? Yes, you have to leave your current job. Would it help you thereafter? I don't think in today's environment anyone can guarantee anything. So it's a decision you need to take based on your current responsibilities and based on what you expect from your career. What's the criteria? I've just completed first year MTech. We already answered that. What would be the working hours and working days and hours? Typical working hours in an IIT is what would be applicable to you. So Monday to Friday, typically normal working hours. But I would suggest you take this as a growth opportunity for yourself. So some of the students work much harder than the official office hours, but that depends on project to project and your interest level. If you didn't do any courses, you'll have to check on the criteria for NPTEL Star. Again, you can go to the NPTEL website and you can find out. Student graduate in 2025 will be eligible next year. Any student from any field can join this fellowship. What would you expect from undergrad to be selected? Your undergrad, the basic requirement is your undergrad degree. Okay. Basic requirement does not mean that you fulfill the requirement for getting selected for the project. What I mean by that is, let us say you have applied for a project in my lab and you have a degree, for example, in say biotechnology. That degree is quite likely not relevant to that particular project. Now, would you be eligible for this project? Yes. Would you get selected or for that matter shortlisted for this project? Very likely no, because there is a mismatch between backgrounds. But again, let's say you have done a biotechnology degree which has a fairly large focus on kinetics. Okay, there is a likelihood that you will fulfill the criteria that is for that particular project. So it's because it's again a research-based role, it's not a cut and dry answer. It depends on project to project and the background of the person that is applying for that project. A lot of the projects also tend to be interdisciplinary. So yes, I mean, if you think that there's a match between your background and the project requirements, please do apply for it. If we get selected now, will we get this opportunity next year? You will need to apply again and you will need to go through the process again. Yeah. Yeah, we have answered the question about future opportunities. Last date mentioned in the email, yes, it was my mistake. I looked at the original email that we had formulated, which was 19th. That has been extended to 26th. 19th was the old, sorry about that, the 19th was the old deadline, the new one is 27th. It is helpful for students who are looking for higher studies abroad. Yes, I gave an example already. I want to continue for MTech after this. Gate selection is gate selection is required for MTech. Will this recording be available? Yes, it will be available. I think yeah, these questions are repeating. So allow us to go. So from NPTEL side. Yes. Yes. So the question was, the institute that I'm pursuing MTech in allows us to go for fellowship in our final year. So if your institute allows you and you fulfill the IIT's norms, you are eligible to do the fellowship, and therefore you are eligible to apply. Yeah, we'll change the form so that PG degree CGPA is optional. If you have already filled the form with PG degree CGPA as 0, you don't have to fill it again. If we do 5 projects in order, do we need to give interview for all projects? The selection is project based, so it will not be one project, because each individual project requirements would be different. So it will be a project based selection. And again, the selection criteria is based on the institute, the parent IIT, and the project itself. Yeah, mark sheet should be fine. But if you're going to complete all your requirements, and you have your mark sheet that shows that you have completed your undergraduate requirements, that should be sufficient. Yes. Day scholar. If you are selected from the project, you will be a day scholar. Master's entrance MTech program is based on GATE. Okay, so you can find out this information from GATE website. Can I do the project and PG side by side? Again, it's not a straightforward question to answer, but very straightforward thing is, if your PG degree program degree institute allows you 1 year project outside of the institute, yes. So that I had just answered a little bit earlier. If you are an NPTEL star, please apply for relevant projects. Can I apply for project after completing BSc Physics? Yes, you are eligible to apply. Completed PG in Life Sciences? Yes, you can. Final year students who will, okay, there are several institutes that allow 1 year project in the final year of your undergraduate program. Unfortunately, you will not be eligible for this particular program, because as of today, according to the guidelines for this program, an undergraduate degree is prerequisite. That's why we had originally planned to call it pre-doctoral fellowship, but we have changed the name to post bachelor's fellowship, so that it's very clear that having a bachelor's degree when you start this program in August of 2024 is required. Accommodation will be, you'll have to find your own accommodation, because most IITs, as far as I know, do not give accommodation to project students. You do not get a degree or a certificate at the end of the fellowship. Again, I mean, you basically, you will end up writing about this in your CV, and the confirmation of this would be through your project guide. You will have the letter that you get from NPTEL. So yeah, we don't have a certificate as such. Yeah, Varun, thank you, Varun, for sharing the link for the project list. Can I get this fellowship with an MSc by research? Again, this is Rizwan's question. I do not know the context of your question, but again, the same answer that I said earlier applies. So if your institute, your home institute, allows you to do your MSc research project at an IIT or IISc by staying in person at that IIT or IISc, yes, you can do this fellowship. Yeah, I've already talked about priority list degree by July this year. Can you do PG? If you're getting a degree, if you're starting your PG this year, you will not be able to do project cycle, right? Because most PG programs, first year, you will have to do coursework. One person per project. Can we join project? And in between. So if you join project, and you get placed in the company, you will have to discuss with your project guide, and you can quit the project midway. So there's no requirement that the project has to be that entire 1 year duration has to be completed. So if you get a job opportunity that you need to avail of, if your project does not work for you, you don't feel enthusiastic anymore about the project. If, for example, living in the city where you of that parent IIT does not work for you, or from your guide's perspective, you're not putting in appropriate effort, for example, in the project, all these would be reasonable reasons for early termination of the project. If your university allows 6-month internship during your 8th semester, you will not be eligible for this program. Again, we have taken a feedback from a previous question, and we will try to see if we can run this particular program not just every July, but July as well as January. So if we run this program in January, and in your 8th semester or your 6th semester, in your final semester, if you're allowed a full semester of internship, and if we run this program again in January, perhaps what you can do is you can join this program in your final semester of your college, do this project in your final semester, and continue for the remaining 6 months on this project. So that would be probably possible to do. Will we get a job offer after this fellowship? No guarantees. Selection process depends on project to project, institute to institute. The norms have to be fulfilled, and NPTEL doesn't say anything about those norms. Okay, the question was, I missed the second part of the question. If you join a project and in between you get placed in the company, can you continue the project in a virtual mode? No, because then that would be double employment. As far as I know, I don't think that is all. Can I join the fellowship next year? We do plan to run this fellowship next year also, so you can apply next year. I'm enrolled in 3-year BSc. My final year exam ends on. Yes, the mark sheet for 3 years will be considered. It doesn't have to be a release of degree. As long as you have a mark sheet that clearly shows that you have completed the requirements for a degree, you will be eligible. Do we need to prepare for interested projects? Again, I mean, we'll send further information after the initial scrutiny is done. At this stage, we're not able to see.
Yeah, the registered email ID with NPTEL is mandatory to apply the form. There is a field called NPTEL registered email ID where you need to give your registered email ID.
Primary email ID is not the registered.
Registered.
Primary is.
Yeah,
so we also have to the other. So yeah, we recognize that there are several of you who will be completing your degree program, and you may not have your college email ID from where you registered for NPTEL. NPTEL registered email ID is required, but the communication after you finish your undergraduate degree program can happen through your secondary email ID as well. MTech first year, I would recommend don't apply for. Depends on do you need subject expertise for a particular project. It depends on project to project. Yes, you will require a reasonable background. What is reasonable depends on project to project. There will be a selection process. Whether that would involve an interview or not depends on project to project as well as institute norms. Something can be facilitated. I'm still bachelor's 6th semester, so I'll not be able. Yeah.
So for internship, we after the exam results are over, we will circulate a form to apply for the internship. You can apply for it. This will be different from this fellowship program.
So the fellowship program is a logical next step from our internship program. Internship program was how many? Summer or a winter?
Summer or winter, mostly around 4 weeks to 2 months, based on the availability of the faculty member.
Right. This is an extension of that. This is a full 1 year. Yes, right? Yeah. So do we have it? I think BA degree. Yes, I've sent it earlier. If there are themes related to social sciences, BA degree holders can apply as well. Can anyone do part-time PhD from any other? No, I don't think if you're doing part-time PhD from any other institute, I don't think you will be eligible for this. Yeah, Varun has just sent a link for where you can check the. This is for project probably. Yeah. English literature, I doubt. English literature, I doubt. Hostel accommodation will not be given. Yeah, I mean, if we make you an offer and you decide to not join, of course you can. Right? We would like everyone whom we make an offer to join, but yeah, you can always decide to not join or not take that fellowship. NPTEL start from Jan 22. Yes, NPTEL start from Jan 22. You can apply as well, and there's no yeah. Themes related to social sciences, yes, BA students can apply. Yeah, if you get selected for the project, yes, you can do project in any topic of your interest. If you're applying, you're interested in higher studies abroad, I think this will be quite helpful. Again, I had earlier in this talk, I had given an example of a student who worked with me and then went abroad for higher studies. And that includes either MS or PhD. How will it help to UG freshers who want to get placements and job apart from recommendation letter? I have already answered that question, and again, I think my perspective in IIT perhaps is slightly different than perspective that I have seen from students who have joined in my lab as project assistants. So my perspective is that the fellowship gives you a different set of tools. These tools are skill sets, and these skill sets are a different set of skill sets than what you learn in a course. So a lot of programs do value these skill sets, and that's what it is about. You have an additional set of skills that you come with in addition to the recommendation letters. The recommendation letters is a part of the entire puzzle, but it's those skills and the confidence that you get by successfully delivering on the project. That's what becomes, in my opinion, something more important. And there have been a fair number of questions about placements and jobs. One of the things that you would want to get towards if you get an opportunity like this is to start thinking about a career rather than a next job. A career talks about where do I want to reach 10, 15 years from now, and what skill sets and what are the strategies that I would require to help me towards that goal. So career is more long-term thinking. And that's what a fellowship like this, if you get, allows you to do. So it doesn't really, address the question of placements and jobs directly. It addresses or it tends to address that question more indirectly, in my opinion. Yes, you can leave. Benefits of qualifying. So if you're qualified, can people who already have a degree qualify for internship? Yes, okay. So internship versus fellowship, 4 to 8 weeks versus up to 1 year. I would always choose up to 1 year because you get enough time to learn, and you're preparing for entrance into integrated PhD into astrophysics. Would this program help me have an edge over others? If you complete this program, with full sincerity and learning all the skill sets, yes, it will give you an edge. I would not use the last 2 words in your question, over others. Will this program give me an edge? It will give me an edge, because let's say this is where you start off. This program helps you get over here. So it's about your personal development rather than getting edge over others. You are going to get edge over where you yourself are when you start this program. That's a very positive way, I believe, of looking at this. Yeah, so the faculty from individual institutes, the 7 IITs and IISc, will work with the local NPTEL offices in order to do the candidate selection process. Okay. So I think that's all for now. We ran 9 minutes over time. If you're selected now, that project may not be there next year. So you'll have to apply once again next year. So if you're planning to do this next year, I would recommend you apply next year. Okay. So yeah, with that, I think we will call this a close. Thank you. Thank you very much for attending this. And thank you very much for the interest that you are showing. We are really excited because I think we want to expand this to research, and research is something that research culture is something that our country can really benefit from. And so we are really looking forward for this program to be successful. This program, I believe, is a stepping stone. It's not an end in and of itself, but it's a stepping stone. It's an opportunity. So I hope several of you will be able to avail this opportunity. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you.